Great to have you here on the Follow Through. I'm Pastor Fred. We're here listening to God. We're also living for Him. Share this with somebody. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are in the book of Revelation. We are in chapter 4 and 5 all week long. And today we're going to look at verses 3 to 6. If you have your Bible, maybe you have your Bible app on your phone, let's open up to that. Because we're going to see, again, all week, a picture of God reigning in glory. Today we're going to look at see what is the one on the throne. What does he look like? What does Jesus look like in all of his glory? And what's amazing about this is that if you've seen any movies about kings, right, or even just looking at how earthly rulers tend to surround themselves and what their what the palace looks like, it's usually pretty amazing. It's probably it's like the best place in whatever that country is. And so there's a big throne and there's all these banners around it maybe. There's all these, I mean, it's just the best of the best. And take that, okay, so you get that picture, but then you look at what's in heaven and it just sort of blows it away. I mean, you can't even compare the two. Right? It's like comparing a blank piece of paper with an absolute masterpiece. I mean, you just can't, right? Our version comes up looking like some stick figures on a piece of paper, but God is like, it's rich, it's vibrant, it's full, it's amazing. And also, what you're going to see in this description are a lot of things that you're going to see in the Old Testament. So let's look at this. There's in verse 3. The one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and carnelian, and around the throne was a rainbow that had the appearance of an emerald. And around that throne were 24 thrones, and seated on the thrones were 24 elders. They were clothed in white garments with golden crowns on their heads. And there's a lot of other imagery. We're not going to be able to get to all of it today. I want you to read that, verses 3 to 6. But just to see just some of the things that are in here, he doesn't just look radiant. I mean, Jesus looks like precious stones. I mean, that's how incredible it is. That's the only thing that John can sort of grab that like in our world, that's really impressive. If you were to see any kind of precious stone, especially when it's been polished up and it's ready, it just takes your breath away, especially if it's huge. Now imagine someone looking like one of those. I mean, to me, I'm going to follow that guy. I'm going to give my life to that person. And that's what God is trying to say. He's saying, look, this is how amazing I am. I'm not just something you should skip over or give sort of a reaction to. And again, he's by the throne and there's this rainbow. We know what the rainbow means, right? Back in Noah, God put the rainbow there after the flood to remind him. He said, never again will I flood the earth. And that's his promise. So when you see this here, or we see a rainbow now, it should remind us of God's love, his faithfulness, also his glory, and the fact that he is in control. It's so amazing. And that has actually an appearance of an emerald as well. And so around the throne, you have 24 thrones. You have more thrones. And that's all of there's 24 elders that are clothed in white garments. Again, all of these different numbers have, a lot of meaning. 24, most scholars really kind of think that it's the 12 like representatives of the tribes of Israel, right? So that's Old Testament, connected with and as one people with the 12 apostles. So you have 24 as you do the math. And so perhaps that's what he's seeing. But what it is these are our people. These are the saints of God, the people of God that God has put onto thrones to rule with him. Now, I don't know, I see that and I just go, man, I'm not worthy of that. Like that he would allow me to do that? See, and the problem is that I often think of whether I'm worthy to sit on that throne, and I'm not. And neither are you. The apostles certainly weren't, and none of the representatives of the tribes of Israel were worth it. They weren't worthy of it, but God blesses us and says, hey, this is, his victory is so total, and our transformation, right, when we get to heaven is so complete that we can sit there on these thrones with crowns on our heads, white garments, right, washed in the blood of the Lamb, washed whiter than snow. God's perfection put on us, right? Literally covering us, these crowns, like we share in that victory that He won. And you have the lightning, and you have all of there's 7 torches. There's all these things that remind you of when with Moses, they're on the mountain, right? And there was all that happening. Again, reminding us the same God that was faithful to them is faithful to us right now and will be faithful in eternity. Do you see that? Past, present, future. That's why Jesus often refers to Himself as the one who was and is to come. He's timeless. He's not bound. We're not by time, and we don't have to worry about whether He has enough to win, because He already has. So please hear that today. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're like your sin just seems overwhelming. Just realize that this he wants you to see this as well, and to know that this is something He wants you to just take in and go, yeah, this is reality. God on the throne, right, in all of His glory. We get to see it. How cool is that? All right. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.